So now let's look at this system. Your body builds 1 billion cells a day. 10,000 of those cells are cancer cells. And this is because of that tissue production. Now, it could be based on stress, it could be based on anything, but your body is already knows what to do with these. You've got 4 detox pathways. You're breathing it out, you're sweating it out, you've got diarrhea or good bowel movements, 2 to 3 healthy bowel movements a day, and you're urinating. So you have all of these detox pathways. So what I tell with anyone that has this condition or adaptation is you got to fix the cause. Now, causes. Some crazy doctors will still say it's genetic, even though in 1900, 2% of the population was affected. And 2024, you're looking at 50 to 60% of the population. Well, genes don't change in 100 years. In fact, you have the same genes, similar genes that you did 40,000 years ago. So your genes are hunter-gatherer genes. Let's look at how your body is. Facts. Your body forms the tumors. That's it. They're not formed by demons or some disease process. Why? Because you build 1 billion cells a day, 10,000 of those cells are abnormal, and you eliminate the abnormal cells through respiration, perspiration, bowel movements, or urination. If you have a toxic and deficient lifestyle, let's say that you have a toxic diet. Well, you don't have the right raw materials. You're exposed to pesticides and things. So instead of 10,000 abnormal cells a day, you're producing 100,000. Instead of 100,000, you're producing 1 million. So toxic diet, stressors, physical, chemical, emotional stress. If you're physically stressed, your regeneration is down. Your bowel function, that's one of your detoxing pathways, that's down. Poor sleep patterns, that's when the body regenerates. And altered metabolism. Now, Thomas Seyfried, and I totally recommend you looking him up online, and he's actually on one of your handouts there. He says that cancer is a metabolic disease. That means, and metabolism is a buildup and breakdown of cells. So if it's a metabolism disease, then you form it, and the solution is not to remove the offending organs, but it's to change your metabolism. So if you have a toxic diet, your body is going to build abnormal cells and you're going to store it. Stressors, physical, chemical, emotional stress, activate this. Electromagnetic fields, same thing. Dental toxicities, sedentary lifestyle, and the location matters. It's like real estate. What do they say the 3 things that matter in real estate? Location. Okay. I love your husband. So these are not different cancers, okay? They're different locations to tell you. You can't separate. Like if I said, what's the most important organ in the body? And you said brain. I'd say, well, the brain can't function without the gut because that's where neurotransmitters are. You said the heart, okay? That can't function without the liver. Okay, you said thyroid. And I said, no, it's not really the thyroid. It has to do with the adrenals. Okay, so you start looking at it. There's an interdependency that we have. But the mindset of medical doctors and the medical system and the programming of the television is telling you that you're broken up into different systems. Well, if we are, why is breast cancer 85% on the left, 15% on the right? Well, if you know anatomy and physiology, we know gut drainage, lymph drainage for the gut drains to the upper left quadrant. If you know anatomy and physiology, you know lymph for the mouth and lungs drain to the upper right. Dental toxicities, pulmonary toxicities, okay, those are all going to be presenting here. Gut disorders are going to be presenting here. And what are we exposed to? We're exposed to a huge amount of toxins in our diet, huge amount of stressors, because any kind of physical, chemical, or emotional stress will decrease blood supply to the gut. Okay, it's going to cause lowered bowel function. It's going to increase toxicity. This is how the system works. We're eating toxins. We're exposed to toxins. Liver, lung, brain. I mean, all of these things, they're all interconnected. They're not different cancers. So when somebody says, hey, look, I have a triple negative breast cancer, or I have double negative liver cancer, or I have this. What are they going to do something different? No, they're still going to do the surgery, chemo, and radiation. Okay, so this is the body in a state of poor metabolic response. This is a body with toxic environmental exposures. That's it. So how do you correct it? You correct it by correcting the problem. So the organs, you eliminate it, you form it. You have genetics to eliminate cancer. You have genetics that form cancer, and it's all to protect you. No organs function independently. It's all a sea of metabolic processes and your detox pathways. And this is what I tell everyone. If you want to, anything that you do that helps your body either detox or get healthy cells is good. Anything you do that eliminates your metabolic processes or decreases it is bad. Okay, when we look at this, physical, chemical, emotional stress, these are the treatments that direct the cause. So the structure, if you have an abnormal structure, you're in a stress state, you can't function well. That's why we look at x-rays on everyone. Exercise, what does exercise do? It increases respiration and perspiration. What do we have everybody do in between the adjustments? We have them move their body to change the brain. Sweating and bowel function. I keep talking about everything that we do with the juicing, the blending, the nutrients. We're going to get you up to 2 to 3 healthy bowel movements a day. This helps prostate and helps you eliminate those 10,000 cells a day that are abnormal. But you really got to eliminate 1 billion cells a day. Because if you build 1 billion cells a day, you destroy 1 billion cells a day. And you get rid of them through respiration, perspiration, bowel movements, and urination. Sleep is when the body regenerates. And regenerate. And this is literally, if your body builds healthy cells faster than they break down, that's called health. If they don't, it's a lack of ease. Chemical stressors, organic diet. And this is just what your species is designed. You're not designed to eat prepackaged processed foods. In fact, for a food to last on the shelf, it has to have the metabolic and digestive enzymes ripped out of it. So you have to be able to take in the nutrients, metabolize the nutrients. And if you can't, the body's going to build itself no matter what. Okay, so this organic diet, you got to get the nutrients in the system that you could break down and utilize. That means you're metabolizing it. Sleep is when the body regenerates. Medications, nobody is suffering from a lack of them. Even if you've had your gallbladder removed, if you've had your thyroid damaged, you've had everything, look at what the problem is and correct it. Breathing. I'm getting rid of more than just carbon dioxide. That's cellular exudates. That's the whole body alkalinizing. So there's so many books on breathing disease away. Prayer. Every study on prayer shows an increase in metabolism or metabolic processes and a faster healing rate. Every one. What does prayer do? When you're praying, are you pissed off? God, I really want this. No. You're saying there's a little humility there. Okay, God, could I? Yeah. And there's an old Catholic prayer for patience. Let me try and remember it. Dear God, grant me patience now. No, it doesn't work that way. But it doesn't matter the religion. Okay, just get in that moment every day so your body can regenerate. Emotional, master yourself. If your emotions are high and low, if you're affected by what other people tell you, if you're affected by your own past thoughts, okay, neurolinguistic programming is fantastic. Nonviolent communication is great. You listen beyond the words. There's so many different techniques. Feed your mind. If you consciously feed your mind with music or philosophy or art. A buddy of mine's having a birthday tonight, and I got him Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. Realizing you're going to see disease after disease after disease healed by first changing your mind. Okay, and that is what controls the body. Again, breathing and emotional. That has a calming effect. Neurolinguistic programming and prayer again. It seems so strange that if you build healthy cells, you have a healthy body. If you build unhealthy cells, your body will form the tumors because you can't breathe them or sweat them out. You look at every culture on the planet, there's sweat boxes, sweat lodges in the Native American. The Romans had sweat lodges and steam baths. So they've known for thousands of years. What did Hippocrates say 2,500 years ago? A death begins in the colon. Okay, so all the Chinese medicine, the same way, they're looking at balances of yin and yang. Only in the last 100 years or so do we have an insane system that takes your physiology and alters it with a poisonous chemical. Okay, all these other philosophies, thousands of years old, look at how your body's regenerating. So when you're in stress, your blood pressure is elevated. When your nervous system is in balance and harmony with the world, you regulate blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol. You have a normal metabolic response. You sleep good. You have healthy bowel function. And then that way you can regenerate your tissue. So this way, physical, chemical, emotional stress in your body can regenerate. Does that make sense? Okay, so nobody ever needs to be afraid of cancer. Look at Dr. Thomas Seyfried. It is a metabolic disease. The data there is clear, and your body can build healthy cells or it can build unhealthy cells. So anything that you do that helps your body eliminate dead cells and build healthy ones is good. Anything you do that slows your metabolic process is bad. And this is what I tell at every one of my clinics. If somebody comes in and says, "Doc, I got that cancer." And I said, with every patient, I say, how do you want to handle it? Do you want to do it naturally, or are you doing the medical route? If they choose to do the medical route, we still address the underlying cause. The problem with that is the medical route, we still got to detox a little bit more because of the chemotherapy. And if there's any physical trauma, we got to heal that too. There's Dr. William Osler, and this is back in the early 1900s. And he was not a big fan because this was in the 30s and 40s when, medications or chemical therapy was just coming out, because they found out that out of petroleum products, you can make a lot of drugs that affect human beings. And so all the medical schools were changing to medical therapy or pharmaceutical therapy. And he said, the world would be a lot better off if you took all the medications and dumped it into the ocean. It'd be bad for the fish, but better for the human. I like the way old guys talk. Any questions? It seems too simple, doesn't it? I know, but it is. It is. How do you reverse arthritis? Restore the form and function, create inflammation, and the body regenerates. How do you reverse disease? Disease is really the body adapting to stress. We never, at any one of my clinics, go after the pain. I mean, rarely is back pain from the back. It's going to be a lateral deviation, loss of this, unstable gait. You got to find the cause. Symptoms, cancer is not a disease. It's the body telling you that there's a problem with metabolism. The location gives you a clue to what organs are function. But anybody in stress, their thyroid's going to be low. Anybody in stress is going to have an altered bowel function. Everybody in stress. And I could tell you, the person sitting in that couch right there, okay, the invisible person, they have, name a disease. Good, type 2 diabetes. Do they sleep good or poor? Poor. Okay, name another disease. Heart disease, good. Do they have good bowel function or poor bowel function? Fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, autoimmune conditions. All of these things. It's a problem with somebody's inability to deal with the stressors. Does that make sense? And so when we stop categorizing, and I've got a couple of videos, one's on the delusion of diagnosis. And I have to retrain the doctors, God bless you, everyone that comes to work with me, because they say Doc, how come you don't diagnose for disease? And I say, okay, we got 10 people with fibromyalgia. Do they all have the same trauma history? Do they all have the same metabolism? Do they all have the same surgery history? No, this one's missing in the gallbladder. This one's, you know what I mean? But they all have the same diagnosis. So they all get the same drug. Any questions?
Is the metabolic, abnormal metabolic function? Can you explain? Because you always say it's...
Oh, okay. Metabolism is a buildup and breakdown of cells. Catabolism is a breakdown. Anabolism is a buildup. So like when you see anabolic, okay, that's a buildup of tissue. Catabolic, it's a breakdown of tissue. Metabolism is both. It's a buildup and breakdown of cells. The cool thing is, this is necessary. You build 1 billion cells a day, you break down 1 billion cells a day. If you have the raw materials, and I'm talking the healthy nutrients from, and just look at food of your species. If you had a captured tiger in a cage, would you give that tiger exercise and nutrients like he would be in the wild? Yeah. Our metabolism is the same as our hunter-gatherers. So your metabolism or your nutrient intake should be the same as the hunter-gatherers. And then that buildup and breakdown of cells occurs at nighttime. So sleep patterns are hugely important. So it's literally getting your body the raw materials, understanding there's detox pathways, which is respiration, perspiration, bowel movements, and urination. And if you're in a normal physical, chemical, and emotional, all of those stressors we all have to deal with. But if we're dealing with them correctly, like when you're sitting, you have the phone piece. Good job. I know, girls are always better than us. Okay, just... No. You got it too? Okay. You rock, brother. You rock. Okay, you did good picking husband. So really a disease is the body adapting correctly. And this is the hardest thing. When people come to me and they say, Doc, I've got a low functioning thyroid. Nope, your thyroid's actually functioning correctly based on the stimulus. Doc, I've got adrenal fatigue. Nope, your adrenals are functioning correctly. You're in high stress state. Doc, I'm constipated. I know, your bowels are functioning correctly. You're not just going to take a laxative. You're in some type of a stress state. But luckily, there's only 3 stressors. Physical, chemical, and emotional. You address those 3, then the body can heal itself. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? God bless y'all. You're designed to live on the world. The world was designed for you, and you were designed for the world.